The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, world.
Hello.
Hi, guys. How we doing?
We are great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I literally ran from work here.
Oh, well, the eyebrows looked good on the way there.
The brows are on fleek.
They are. They look dead. Dead as fuck.
Thank you. Giovanni, how was your birthday?
My birthday was actually really amazing.
Yeah?
I'm like exhausted, but it was great. It's actually gonna continue on to this weekend. So
Wait, what?
yeah,
I have like a birthday month.
my boyfriend is taking me out this Saturday.
Where are you guys going?
He's taking me to the aquarium. This is a really cool aquarium here in Camden, New Jersey, and then we're going out to dinner. So he's spoiling me some more
Seafood?
Originally it was seafood, which is why I was like, okay, two and two together. We're gonna go see the fish, and then we're gonna go eat them.
Eat it.
Yeah. But then I was like, you know
Sushi?
what? I was like a sushi seafood Asian restaurant, and then I was like,
that sounds really yummy.
it's
though.
really good.
That does sound good.
The restaurant is called Tuna Bar. It is so good. But we've been there a couple times, so I was like, you know what, let's try somewhere new. So we're gonna go to a restaurant called Cuba Libre. It's a Cuban restaurant. Has really good reviews. The pictures look great, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Ooh,
fun.
love that
Good
for
time.
you.
Yeah.
Excited.
Wait.
But how was the past weekend? What did you do?
It was great. Some of my friends came from New York. They came to stay with me in Philly, although I didn't think they would come. I was so happy that they came. We pre-gamed at my place. We went to a few bars here in the city, and then the next day we had some Dominican breakfast. I made all the breakfast, of course. I made salami with yuca, queso frito.
You got plantain?
Oh no, I did the yuca. I didn't do the mango. No, I just did yuca.
That's not Dominican.
Oh, what is yuca from? That's African, isn't it?
No, it's Latin America, but it's like I thought you were gonna be like Dominican.
I
like
didn't want to. I can't too
that
much
one is
mango.
hard to make.
That's hard.
I know. I was like, that's your birthday. I wouldn't make shit for anybody.
I know. I did it. I didn't, but they came.
What a great host.
I am a
Either way,
You
that
didn't
sounds
do
delicious.
that for us when you like visit me.
What do you mean? I make you guys bread when I go there.
Oh, that's true. You do make focaccia.
I make
Really
focaccia. Okay.
It's good.
Hop off my.
Still waiting for my mango and salami.
Hop off of my cat. Well, I'm still trying to learn how to make mango.
Well, actually, guys, welcome to the show must go on.
Hi, I'm Giovanni.
I'm Tracey.
And I am Nikki. We are here to judge all shows, all performers, all actors. We love that, and this is a safe zone to do it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for judging with us. What are you guys watching lately? Any good stuff? Please, I need to know.
Yes, so I forgot to tell you guys last week that I actually watched two rom-coms. One the week prior and one this past week. So the first one was Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and what's that guy's name? Glenn
Powell?
That's his son? I think that's him.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know if I got
Yes.
his last name right.
It was really cute, you know. It had funny, moments. And I actually enjoyed it. And you know how they're making this whole big deal, like rom-coms are back. And I'm like, did they ever really go away? Because they didn't do it for like 2 years. No.
No, rom-coms haven't gone away. It's just like how well have they been doing.
Yeah,
That's the
also
thing.
like we do get tired of the storylines, so I'm glad they're like switching it up. And then I just watched The Idea of You this past week.
I'm watching that next.
And everyone is like, for me, humble opinion, I don't want to give anything away because I want you guys to watch it. That's an actual rom-com.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also didn't know it is actually based on a book. I had no idea. So, yeah. And Anne Hathaway, I was like, what the fuck is this bitch doing to look this good? Because I'm sure you guys have seen the trailers and the pictures. Or and interviews. Like, she looks... I was like, what kind of products is she using? You know? And then I, like, looked it up. And she hasn't had a drink in, like, 15 years.
I saw that she's sober
That's
now.
why.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
I was like,
Yeah, I like a drink here and there.
Like, she's reverse aging. I swear to God, she looks amazing.
We're all going to die
And
anyway.
that's-
Benjamina Button.
Literally. When you guys watch the movie, you're gonna be like, "What does she look better than the Princess Diaries?"
I
you
mean,
know?
I'm seeing it now, like on social media, because she has the
Oh,
press
yeah, she looks amazing.
press tour for the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? And then
she looks so fucking good.
and then she's like, yeah,
so
no alcohol.
Fucking good.
I'm sober, and I'm like, oh, good for you, but no thanks.
Yeah, I
God.
don't subscribe to that, but
She looks amazing.
She does.
And then there was something else that I watched. I can't remember. But those were like the two major things that I wanted to share with you guys. Did you guys see the looks on the Met Gala
I saw a few.
on Instagram?
I saw
I mean, I obviously don't watch the Met Gala, but on Instagram.
I saw like maybe 5. I think.
yeah, there were like a handful that I saw.
I think like
Come on, guys. We have a podcast to record.
I think most people were. Well, I know there was a boycott.
Was there?
Yeah, a
Oh.
lot of them were late because people were boycotting the Met Gala.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So there's that. But also, I think people were just a little underwhelmed by the theme.
I
Like, they-
actually
they-
loved it. Like, I actually understood this time.
That's true because it was just like a garden theme.
Yeah.
Because a
Basically.
few times I'm like, what are you guys trying to do here? I don't
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of the Miranda Priestley, like, oh, florals for
spring.
spring, how groundbreaking.
I mean, listen, Zendaya could never
I
do
mean,
wrong.
Right.
Like, girl,
We know she
what you
shows
doing?
up and she's gonna be like
Who's her
best dressed.
stylist? Yes.
Well,
J
what's his
Lo
name?
looked
It's Laura
amazing.
Roach. Yeah, I saw
Laura Roach,
Zendaya,
Yeah.
J Lo. I saw Nicki Minaj.
J Lo looked amazing.
I saw Demi Moore.
I didn't see Nicki Minaj. Demi Moore looked amazing. Who else?
I saw Cardi
Lana
B.
looked amazing.
Lana-
Cardi B, like,
I saw all I saw was like her face. She was wearing a curtain. Right.
Ariana Grande looked like a fucking fairy. Everyone looked great. The only people I didn't like, per usual, were the Kardashians.
Oh, I didn't even see them.
Kim's waist
didn't-
was like
that
Oh
was-
wait,
that-
I did see Kim Kardashian. She had like a tiny fucking waist. Like
That gave me anxiety because I'm like, you're destroying your organs right now at this.
That's
moment.
what I was thinking immediately.
also, what does that have to do with the garden?
Yeah, I didn't really get her.
Well, she said something
Outfit.
like it's like you're like when you run through the garden, like you're running out of time, so like the hair has to be like kind of loose, and then you just grab something to cover yourself, and that's why she had like that little like sweat.
What?
I don't know.
That is so stupid. That makes no fucking
Oh, I
sense.
thought that you were going to say that she was like an hourglass.
But it's still
Running out of time.
what's-
Because, like, she's
running out of
she's,
time.
like-
It's not Alice in Wonderland. Like, what does this have to do with the garden?
I don't know.
I don't
It,
fucking know.
a lot of people had the same hairstyle, which for me I was like, maybe they all aim for the same thing. But Doja on a towel, like in a towel.
She
like,
showed up in a
had
towel? I gotta look
Yeah.
that one up.
You
I-
guys didn't see that because
I
I
did.
was speechless.
I did.
That I
You know,
didn't
in
see.
a way, I low-key kind of love that she's just sort of like, fuck it.
I mean, I'm
You
sure it had
know?
a meaning because she also had it on her hair
Right.
and then heels.
Yeah.
Doja Cat towel. I'm just looking it up online now. Wow, bitch really
She's a
showed up
rebel.
in a towel. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. I don't know. There were like many like good looks, which is rare. But you know, Blake Lively wasn't there, and I really really like her style. Always, she wasn't there, and Rihanna wasn't there. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, Rihanna usually pulls like cool looks. Tracy, you watching anything exciting? Anything cool?
I did watch a documentary. It's the new one on Hulu called The Contestant.
Oh shit! I heard about that.
Yeah.
I've not
so,
seen that.
Okay, so for our listeners and for Nikki, basically in, I think it was like the early 2000s when like reality TV is becoming this new thing. Well, it blew up in Japan is really sort of where it started. And they had this show, don't ask me to pronounce it,
Pronounce it.
but
pronounce it.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Oh my-
Kudasai.
Wow.
So basically, they pick this guy and they put him in a room and he's by himself except for a table, and I think he has a hot plate and a bunch of magazines, paper, and a pencil. And he has to enter all these sweepstakes in these magazines to win prizes. And once he wins prizes that accumulate to 1,000,000 yen, will he be let out of this room?
So he's trying to do
And-
that to.
And he's like isolated, like he has no contact with anybody.
When did they? When was this?
Like early 2000s.
Was this against his will?
No, he volunteered for this. Like he was a comedian. He moved to Tokyo.
So is this like the aftermath? Like he's telling the story?
Okay, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
He-
Wait,
Oh,
are you gonna spoil it?
No, like-
Because now I want to
I don't-
watch it.
no, I don't think so. I mean, he is interviewed about his
Okay,
experience,
okay.
and they
Okay.
show because they have
So it's
all the
about
video,
that reality show back in the day.
right? And then
Got it,
sort
got
of
it.
like that. Then yes, like the aftermath and what he's doing now and everything.
Okay,
But
okay.
It's given
Sort
the
of like-
Truman Show.
Yes. Think Truman Show for sure.
I want to see. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
It's
Interesting.
yeah.
I'll put it on my
good.
list.
Hulu,
Yeah,
right?
it was good. Hulu.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Hulu, today we are discussing. It's actually not even a Hulu series.
It's an
a
FX show.
but
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
You can watch it on Hulu if you have Hulu. We are
And Disney Plus.
and Disney Plus. Oh, I didn't realize it was on Disney Plus. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, Hulu and
It is I think it's a mini series. Might grow into something, we don't know. Called Shōgun. Tracy, do you want to read the synopsis?
sure. When a mysterious European ship is found marooned in a nearby fishing village, Lord Yoshi Toranaga discovers secrets that could tip the scales of power and devastate his enemies.
Dramatic.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. Let's jump right into it.
So much to talk about.
There's
First
a
of
lot.
all, 10 episodes, an hour each, but a little bit more in the first episode. It was an hour and 10 minutes.
I think Joe, you said miniseries. I think I would say like limited series.
But I think they may be doing a second season.
Well, what's the difference
So-
between a limited and a mini-series?
A limited series means one and done. They're
Done,
doing
yeah.
those set episodes and that's it. A mini series
That's
means
what
that
I
it might
thought it
continue.
was going to be. Like one and done.
Oh, I think
I
they
mean,
could
listen,
definitely
if
do.
you're giving me a season 2 of this little show,
They have to. We'll talk about it more, but I definitely think there's room to do a second season
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. Good.
oof, love that show.
Nikki, go in. I mean, you seem pumped.
I started watching it weeks ago, and the moment I started watching it, it's really hard for me to watch something that is not in English or Spanish, and get hooked right away, especially a language that Japanese, especially Japanese. It's a language that I don't understand anything. You know, like not one word, maybe the names because they will repeat it so much. And the moment it started, I was hooked. With the ship, you know, the ship landing on this territory and taking all these foreigners into, you know, as hostages and, you know, trying to get information. And obviously is based on, you know, years and years ago, but I also feel super ignorant about history back then, and the Portuguese and the Japanese. Like, I feel like I don't know much about it, and it brought a lot of knowledge for me. And it's just, for me, it was really well written. And the moment I started, I was in.
Right. So,
Yeah.
me too. I don't know shit about things today. So, let's set the stage a little bit. So, this is taking place in the year, around the 1600s, right? Early 1600. In Japan, we have a barbarian ship of Portuguese, right?
They're British.
Are they British?
They're British.
Oh, they're British. Sorry, yes, they are British. You're right. They're British. They're trying to find the Japans. That's what they call it. Trying to find the Japans. And they are rivals with the Portuguese, right? And I guess the rest is history. You know, they end up actually finding Japan.
Barely.
Not the way,
how many?
not the way they wanted to find it, in
Right.
the sense that they did not want to get caught.
Right. Well, also,
Yeah.
didn't they start with like 5 ships and like hundreds of men, and then basically it dwindled down
One
to
ship.
like maybe a dozen guys?
Yeah.
And the
I mean,
one
even
ship.
even their captain blew his brains out because he was like, we're never gonna reach land.
And think about it. They're coming from the UK all the way to Japan.
the way.
Like, what the fuck? And like, that's back then. I wonder like how long that took.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'll never understand how people back then chose that life to like live on the seas. You know, where they're like, I'm gonna discover uncharted territory. I can't swim either. So
Oh my God, you
I
and
guess there's
Giovanni.
Oh,
that. I'm
Don't
like
forget.
Rodriguez. I can't swim. So
hell no,
This
me
is
either.
just bad. The fact that both of you cannot, like, you guys are grown
can
as
only
adults.
doggy
Get
paddle.
some swimming lessons.
I cannot swim. My boyfriend is a lifeguard.
This
it's
and
too late.
Survival skills, guys. If something happens, and you gotta swim
Regardless.
a little.
That's
Even-
why I stay on dry land.
Right. Even if I were a swimmer, my ass would not be on a fucking ship going into the seas to go explore. Shit, I
And then they get scurvy
I
and
know.
they're eating
No,
rats.
no,
I don't know.
Ay, Dios mío.
I know.
Forgot
No.
about that.
With all
So
this
yeah,
men.
I just can't understand that type of life. And the fact that it's like one of our main characters, John Blackthorne, who is the pilot. We discover, I don't think I really learned anything, that he has kids. And he's like barely seen them growing up. Like he's like,
And he's never going to see
bye,
them.
see ya. No, he's never going to see them.
No.
But yeah, I mean, just to like up and leave.
Yeah.
And
it's,
say goodbye to your family and just, I'm going to go
I'll
see what
be
happens.
right back in a couple of years.
If you're lucky.
So, okay.
Get eaten by a whale.
I have to ask something because to add to what Nikki was saying, that, you know, it's difficult. I mean, I'm rambling here, but this show reminds me a little bit of Game of Thrones. You called it, Nikki.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Where
Yeah.
there's so many characters, so many storylines, so much going on. The episodes are long
It's
as
what do
Fight
we
for
like
power.
about this?
You know-
what kind of piece is this?
It's a
Giovanni?
time period. Wait, period piece. Sorry. It's a period.
Come on!
It's a period piece.
I thought you were gonna start with that.
I know.
This is like
I
for
know.
real a period piece.
This is a
Yes.
for real period piece. And then on top of that, you know, most of the show is done in Japanese. So it's like, oh shit.
Lots of subtitles.
You know, a lot of subtitles, and they use a lot of terms that I actually had to Google. And then what made it even more confusing is that sometimes they'd be speaking Portuguese, but it's in English.
It wasn't really Portuguese. It was in English. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just
I think they
what the
did that
fuck?
to not have that many languages.
Yeah.
So
I think
that made it confusing for me at the start, and then I was just trying to understand what the hell does what the hell does religion have to do with this? But then I was like, yeah, religion is usually the cause of all war, you know.
exactly.
Which
Exactly.
is
I
so
mean, like everyone
stupid.
like was escaping, you know, the UK at some point because they wanted freedom of religion.
Yeah.
You know.
But I was really confused about that and what was going on with the Christians and the Catholics or whatever. I really only understood the storyline within what's going on within like the Japanese, if that makes sense, like the air and the regents and all that stuff. But whenever the church was involved, all of those scenes, I still don't fucking have a clue what was going on. And I rewinded and went back and tried to put the puzzle pieces together, and I gave up. I don't know what that storyline has to do with what's going on in Japan. Basically, I felt like there were two very separate storylines. Like I felt like the story would have been fine without having that ship come in. I don't know. Do you disagree?
You mean the ship where Anjin was in?
Yeah.
Like black. Well, I think that was the whole story. Like him, you know, and how can we get information from this person that, you know, it's not from here. And I also feel like he was the person that can show them the outside world, like outside of Japan, or tell them what's going on outside of Japan. I don't know if you notice in the whole show, but they show you a lot about their culture.
Yes.
And how like words are meaningful. What you say is what you do. You don't just throw those words away the way that we're used to.
Oh my God.
And how everything is about respect and honor. And because of that, and because how like their culture is so specific and so intense, I think they protect themselves so much that having someone from the outside, you know, it was something that was useful for them if they knew how to use him. What do you think, Trace?
I also think tactically they used Anjin as a pawn. Toronaga did, for sure,
Yeah.
because I mean, we learned basically right away in like the first episode that the regents, this council, they want him out. Like, they want his
Yeah.
head, literally. Like, they want him to die. And so the whole show, he's basically evading death. And I think a large part of that is using this barbarian to sort of be a distraction and
Yeah.
take eyes off of Toranaga.
What's going on? Yeah.
Exactly. So I do think it is important that his character is there. Also, we get a bit of a love story, you know, and then, I mean, like you were saying, Nikki, having that juxtaposition of cultures,
Oh my God, opposite worlds. Completely.
you know, and even when you said how words matter, when he hangs that pheasant up, and it's like stinky and disgusting, and he
And it's
doesn't
like-
know Japanese that much, and he says, "You touch, you die." And then the gardener touches it, and
then
they kill him. And he
Yeah.
was like, "No, I didn't literally mean for you to kill this guy. I was just saying, like, leave it
Words are
alone."
so meaningful,
And they were like,
yeah.
"Well, you gave the order. You said if anyone touched it, they had to be killed."
And the other part where you know it's like so real is when they are in this meeting with the lords or the kings or whatever it is, and somebody raises their voice and they're against of what they're saying, and then because of that he has to commit, I think it was
Seppuku.
seppuku himself and their kids, so their last name doesn't exist. Like, how intense is their culture? It's like you went against us and you're supposed to be part of us, so you and your last name should never exist ever again.
I mean, that is definitely an extreme, because when you disagree with someone, you might say, "Oh, sorry, you know, like maybe I spoke out of line or whatever," and then you just let it be. For
But
him,
I-
it was
I
like,
feel
"Oh,
like they
I gotta
don't
kill
do
myself
that.
now."
Yeah, because I feel like what you say is what you mean. There's no
Yeah.
like going back. You can say like, you know what, I overreacted.
Right? Oh, there's none of that.
I'm
for
so
sure.
sorry. My anxiety was in the way that day. You know, that's not a thing. For
I'm on my
them.
period.
So, yeah, like that
No.
doesn't exist. So it was so shocking, you know, and how everyone is just willing to do it.
Really, to just take their lives.
Yeah.
I was like, pero
Like
this is so
shame.
easy for everyone.
Shame is such like a serious thing to them.
I guess maybe too, it's just like you said with the culture, like when they're children and they're how they're raised, maybe, you know, especially depending on their standing in life, like their social class. So it's like, okay, you're here to, sure, maybe continue the family line, but also to honor the family. And part of that is maybe killing yourself.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
Yes,
because it was when what's her name, Mariko. Her she wanted to. It was so funny talking about juxtaposition. Anjin is fighting death the whole show, and Mariko just wants to die the whole show.
yeah.
And you see her at some point, like, just ready, and she's just like begging.
Yeah.
I think episode 3, she's like begging her husband, just kill me, just fucking do it. Like, what you're doing is worse than actually killing me. And then Toranaga says to her later on, like, you just want to die, you don't want to die with purpose, you know. And I think I know I just jumped 100. That's what makes her make that decision for later on in the show, that she's like, this death is I'm finally gonna get what I want, and it's also gonna have purpose. It's not gonna be in vain.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What a great show. I loved it so much.
That's good. It definitely made me think, like you said, Joe. I was confused the first episode. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel dumb.
That's why I was like, you have
like,
to watch it slowly because you're like, who, huh?
Yeah, and all the characters that you're getting introduced to, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
But eventually you do. It took all 10 episodes, but I got there.
I had to constantly go on like IMDb to look up the cast names because there would be like Ishido, Buntao, and I was like Ochiba, and I'm like, who? Wait, who was this again? Who was that? And I'm like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah. It took. I didn't catch on until like maybe episode 7.
Well, and also like how they're related too.
Yes.
Like,
oh,
so
that's
it's like
right.
that's
You
the
know, like,
son, and then that's his granddaughter, and
like I just realized Ochiba's relationship to Toranaga and Mariko in episode 9. That's when I put that piece together. I was like, oh my god, wait, what? It was a lot. It was a lot to put together. Yeah, it was just a lot.
it is a lot. So get your
I was
thinking
like,
caps
heavy.
on.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Yes. It was very gory too. I love the gore.
I wanted more.
I wanted
I
more
wanted
too.
more.
It's a great show, but it's heavy on information. So
Yes.
there's no way you can be doing other things. You have to be in the moment. Let's talk about the actors because I feel like I didn't know any of these people, including Anjin. I think I don't remember his name.
Cosmo
Jarvis.
Yeah.
And I think everyone did amazing.
I've
Again,
seen Toranaga before.
I was gonna
I
say I've
don't
seen him
know.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but like not something that I remember him for,
Right.
Right.
And I don't speak the language, but it looked great. I believed every word that he was saying.
Yeah. For sure.
I liked all of the casting. I like all the acting. The only one I did not like was the guy who played John Blackthorne.
Really?
I could not stand him. And I hated the contacts.
Speak
like,
more.
I hated.
Like why?
I just felt like he was trying too hard. The accent was a little bit too much for me. It was just the voice that he was making, like he talked like that, and I was just like, it gave me
I kind of get what you mean. Yeah.
It gave me the ick, and I was like, dude, why? And also like,
I kind of see that.
I wonder why
I didn't even notice that.
I wonder why they put the contacts on him. I guess it's because he had his blue eyes in the book, but it was just bothering me, but I got used to it. I just thought it was just, he was trying too hard. I don't know. He gave me the ick. I loved everyone else. I love the one who plays Mariko. I also love the acting choices by the woman who played Ochiba. Her voice was very like, she spoke very soft, like a little pitter patter, and the little like smirk on her face, like.
But the words.
That
she was saying.
she was just very like.
You don't want to fuck with her.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, like you're scared. She's intimidating
very,
as fuck.
She's a little
soft
so
and like a little evil, like I loved the way that she played that character.
Yeah.
I loved everyone except for, I'm sorry, John Blackthorne. It was like,
I get what you mean with the voice. It was like very deep command.
it was like, I'm John Blackthorne, and I want my shit. I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Take a chill pill. Like, I don't know. He was just always talking like that.
I love how Giovanni's like, take a chill pill, because when I was held hostage on my boat, I took a chill pill.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I didn't even notice that. I also feel like I was so invested in like understanding, what everyone was saying, that it's like one of those shows that I'll probably have to watch again later on, because now that I know the story, I want to like go even deeper in the performances and pay attention to what Joe was saying about his voice.
A lot of yelling.
There's a lot of yelling. There's a lot of
I
like
was like, how did he not mess up his voice?
Right. Speaking
of
of
fast, and I was like, wait, am I catching up on the subtitles? Like I wasn't sure. I'm like, did I miss one?
Right.
Speaking of actors too, the other one that I really was fascinated by was the consort that they choose for John Blackthorne. The one
Fuji-sama.
Fuji-sama.
Yes. Fuji.
With which I feel like there's more character development that needs to be done there.
Well, I thought, I was like, if there is a season 2, I hope, we get more of her because I wanted more of her. And, this girl from, I think, episode 2, she has to kill her own baby, herself, which is like the most fucked up thing in the world, I think. Kill your own baby. And
For sure.
you see her, like, character journey, and even at the end when she's in peace and that she's gonna become a nun, the whole time I'm like, but I want to keep knowing who you are.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
Her
I love when
storyline
he was like, "I want you to stay."
Yeah,
I thought that was really sweet, and he was like,
sweet.
"But I
And
still
Giovanni
need your
was
help."
like, ick.
I was happy with that
want
part
you to
because
stay.
I liked her. I was like, yeah, let's keep her. Let's get rid of him.
Push him out of that boat
Yeah.
with those ashes.
Yeah, he is hot. I'll give him that, but hey, stay. I want you to stay. I'm John Blackthorne.
No, you know what? I give him credit though, because he must have learned Japanese, because it
Oh,
sounded very authentic when
sounded
he was
so
speaking
good.
it.
A lot of the actors must have, had to learn Japanese like that. What is he? Is it priest? Pastor? I don't know what you call that.
Oh, they were priests.
Yeah, the priests.
You know what I love too? I feel like I should have done way more research. Sorry, talking about the priest and everything, like that
hair?
haircut. Yo, the fucking hair on everybody. Listen, okay, for the Japanese samurai, I understand because I read like the ponytails and shaving the top of the head. That was because when they put the helmet on, so that makes sense.
Wait, Trace. Well, when we're watching it, I am so blind that we're watching it, and I'm saying, like, why is he wearing a kippah, like the Jewish thing?
Yarmulke?
Or the kippah, they call it a kippah too.
Yeah.
And Trey was like, no, honey.
That's
like,
his bald ass head.
That's his head.
That's his head.
And I was
That's
like,
his scalp.
really? And he goes like, yeah, I don't know why the fuck they're wearing their hair like that.
But then I kind of thought too, because with the helmet and when he wears his, whatever that hat that he's wearing, like it fits perfectly where he's bald.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe because they didn't have bobby pins back then.
Imagine how to shape your hair to shape a fucking hat. Like, not the other way around. Not the hat shaping. You have to get your hair to adjust to the hat.
That's
like,
true.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, they don't want to look desirable. They're priests. They have to be celibate. So
Yeah. But even
mean-
even some of the warriors had shaved heads. I noticed. Some of the I don't know if they're called warriors or whatever, but they also had their shaved heads too for the helmets.
Well,
I
yeah.
the samurai.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because the
Samurai.
helmets.
guess. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right.
said. That makes sense. When, it's like, okay, you're fighting in a war and...
Trey was like, it's so
Get it.
stupid.
Speaking of like
It doesn't look great, but there's a reason
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
it.
speaking
But
of
it doesn't constantly.
helmets, I think that the costumes for the show were beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
yeah.
breathtaking. I felt like it was like we were there.
I do
So,
feel
like-
like the show really captures the essence of the Japanese, because that, like, the costumes were beautiful. The photography of the show was so pretty too. Like, I think when they moved to a different territory and they're like, I think the owner of the pleasure house, she's talking about
Brothel.
where the owner of the brothel, where to put her business. And that view, you know, even though like the ground was wet, but the view, I was like, this is fucking amazing how beautiful it looks.
Yeah.
And the way that they were all walking in their little flip-flops, I was like,
the little tiny steps.
I was like,
Yeah.
the mud is going on your socks right now.
know.
I was so stressed out about that, but I was like, it showed their culture so much, and I was so appreciative because I feel like I don't know anything about them. The only thing I knew was the food. I was like, that sushi be looking good, and that white rice.
That's what they eat for breakfast too. I was
Love
like,
that for
yeah,
them.
I want to sit on the floor and eat with them.
Oh, this is something I wanted to talk about because I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, I could never survive that time and being Japanese because my scoliosis. I'm like, did you see those beds?
They
There
sleep
was
on a
no
hard
pillow. Yeah, and then there are no chairs. You're sitting on the floor. I was like, my spine would have said, "Fuck you." I would have been like seppuku. Dead.
Oh man.
I'm like, I can't deal with this.
Oh,
I can't.
man.
My spine
I
could
thought
never.
too. That's what I thought too. I
can't.
was like, they're just literally sleeping on the ground with like a
On
little
the ground
tiny pillow.
and sitting on the ground too, on their knees. Or
I know, no,
crisscross.
no.
Maybe they had a little like whatever mat that they had to sit
So
on.
nothing at this
Woohoo.
age is nothing.
They must
know.
give good head because imagine being on your knees all that time.
That's it.
Like-
Okay, well, I wasn't thinking about the head thing, but the women
But
always
no
getting
rug
down
rash.
on their knees.
Shit.
Ouch.
I see.
I-
I could not survive because you gotta commit seppuku for every mistake you make. You gotta be careful about what you say.
I wouldn't have made
I
it past
can't
the
get
age
on
of
my
4.
knees. I'm sorry. No. Also, I'm gay and every man has to go to war. No.
Yeah, that would have been.
You know
rough for
what?
you, John.
That would be the reason for me to get on a fucking barbarian ship and be like, you know what? Take me out of here because, either that
I'm out.
or seppuku.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm also too tired to fight.
I'm
you know.
too tired.
I hate you.
I do.
But that's what I'm saying. That's like what these men, especially if you're samurai, that's what you're trained to do. Like you're probably starting out with sticks when you're like 2 years old, learning how to, sword fight. Well, you know what I was going to say real quick? Nikki, when you were talking about the woman who's going to that land to see where her tea house is going to be.
Yes.
And then that priest comes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, "Oh, those are your neighbors."
Neighbors.
And they're gonna be. The church is gonna be right next to the brothel.
brothel.
Yep. I was like, what a
laughed
vibe.
so
I love it.
hard.
What a vibe. You
What a
go,
great time.
go get some head and then go get on your knees and pray. Or
Well, I think
Ask
that's
for forgiveness.
ask for forgiveness.
I kind of saw it as like a little bit of like a middle finger to the church.
For sure.
Like
they
people
did
are
that on
gonna
purpose.
sooner visit a brothel than they would a church. This is what you get for trying to convert us.
Right.
Yeah,
That's how I took it. I just thought it was funny.
So,
it was.
yeah. So I just feel like I'm going to just say it. Sorry to burst your bubbles. I don't think the show's for me. I didn't like the show until episode 7. That's when it got really good for me. And then the final episode, I was so disappointed. Because it was
I wanted a big battle.
I wanted a big battle. I was just like ready. And then the last episode, I was literally about to like fast forward to the end because I was like, this is terrible.
Did you get blue balls again?
I got blue balls again. I was so disappointed. And I was like, what was the whole point of the series? I thought the whole point of the series was...
Well, I feel like I get what you mean,
Yeah.
but I also feel like it shows so much about who Toranaga was as a character. He was avoiding war constantly. Like the whole show is him avoiding this.
Yeah.
So for me to end like that was perfect because that's what I wanted. The character that I was cheering for the whole time was him.
Me too,
Him,
for sure.
Yeah.
you know, I was like, I really hope he gets his way the whole time, and he did.
Yeah.
It gave me closure. I did want to know more about the other characters, like what's her name again?
Mariko?
Fuji.
Oh.
Mariko. She said, "I don't want to be here anymore." She
That
was like,
bitch,
"Peace."
she was trying to cause seppuku since the first episode.
Since the beginning,
Right.
but I wanted more of Fuji. You know, I really hope Toranaga's what was his name? The guy with the long hair. That wasn't a samurai because his hair was normal with a ponytail.
The guy who
The
was
one
like,
the one that caught Blackthorn. He was so fucking funny. What was his name?
oh, the one that Toranaga kills at the end.
At the end.
Yeah, he's like the. he's-
Yabushiga or whatever.
Yabushi.
I thought maybe he was gonna spare him. I'm not gonna
Me
lie.
too.
There's like a small
Me
part of me
too.
that I thought that he was gonna be like, listen,
Me too, because
you betrayed me.
Yeah.
You betrayed me. You're terrible. But also now that you know my plans,
Yeah.
But his like journey
chopped his head off.
as a character was, I loved it so much because I
Yeah.
hated them at the beginning.
Yeah.
I hated him so much, and then I was like, well, I kind of like him. He's also super fucking funny, you know.
huh? All the time. Huh?
He's playing both sides too. You know, like
Yes.
he just cares about himself. That's it.
Exactly.
He just cares about
Exactly.
himself. Speaking of like characters, Toronaga's son, like that was like such a sad and funny way to die. Because I was like,
Laughed.
I was
like, that is my biggest fear.
I gasped, and then I was like, well,
A stupid accident taking you out.
I'm
That's
like,
my
that's
biggest
fucked
fear.
I was like
up.
ready to
That
chop
is
his
fucked
uncle's
up.
head
I was
off
like-
and then
Honestly, Trey also laughed, but the reason why I didn't find it funny is because that is my biggest fear. To die stupid.
All of
Because
us.
like
he
hit
just
your head on the
slipped.
counter.
He slipped and he just hit his head. It reminded me of Breaking Bad. You know, when the owner of that freaking company where Skylar works just runs, he slips with the carpet, and then he lands forward, and he's what's the word?
Paraplegic.
Paraplegic from the neck down. He can't because he slipped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that when that happened, the way I gasped, like Tracey said, I was
Yeah,
like,
I was like, ooh.
because
Yep.
it truly is my biggest fear, and it's a stupid thing for to happen to you, and you fucking die from it.
Yeah.
I think that's where the laughter part comes from, where you're like, of all the ways to go, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I know. I was
Right?
like, oh my god.
Oh,
I
felt
got
so
so
bad.
tense.
I mean,
Yeah, I was like, oh my god,
That
his
is
head.
so
Kid.
so tense. Oh,
That was karma for the cannons.
oof, that was. That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh well, you kind of had it coming, and then, you know, like he was so eager to fight,
To prove himself.
like the whole show,
Yeah.
and then it was like payback's kind of a bitch. That's kind of what you get. Like,
Right.
you know, his
I
father
guess
was.
because his father is such a legend. All right. I mean, he was what? Like the boy warrior, you know, 12
Yeah.
years old fighting in a battle.
Yeah.
So you have this legacy to live up to, and he thought he was doing something good.
Right.
Oh, I felt so bad.
I know. And the episode ends like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that it was like the credits and you just hear the rain falling.
You know what? You know I love an ASMR.
You do. Yeah, you do. That's true. But just because the shock
Yeah.
for
it was
me,
just like,
at least, I was like, because I was like, oh, he's gonna kill him, you know, his uncle or whatever.
Yeah, let's go.
And then whoop, and I was like,
because that brother was such a piece of shit. Like
he was an asshole.
I did not see that coming. I don't know if you guys
I didn't trust him
at
all. When he showed up in the woods and was like, brother, let's go drink. I was like,
I didn't at first, but then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can trust him. So I really did not see it coming when he drops a bomb on us that they gave him an offer he couldn't refuse if they asked him for him to be part of the council. And I was like, that's when I gasped. I said, motherfucker.
It's so funny because we talk about the show and like honor and loyalty, but when you think about it, every character is out for themselves and their interests, you know, and it's just about getting ahead and gaining power and gaining a legacy. Like that's their whole thing, is that they want to have like a fiefdom, you know, they want to have land and money, you know.
Everyone is out for themselves.
Yeah.
I
really, really liked it.
I do like the storyline. I do like the surprises.
I
thought it was a beautiful show. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Visually beautiful. I just was so disappointed with the ending. I wanted a battle, and I get what you're saying, Nikki. You know, you do have a very good point. That it shows even more about who he was and what his point was, but I was like,
and
I want to see more heads come off. I want to see more cannons breaking people in half.
Like
you know what I mean?
I think
you know, I didn't like research any of the directors because there are many of them, but I was hoping, I'm going to tell you what I was hoping if we had a battle. I was hoping for like a Battle of the Bastards kind of battle, because it's dark, it's muddy, it's raining, you know, it's family. I was kind of like waiting for something like that, but it made sense for me to end the way that it did. But the one thing that I was going to say about, you know, reminding me of Game of Thrones is that, I don't know if you guys remember, but in Game of Thrones, it was always the episode before the last episode that had something bigger happen. And for us, it was Mariko dying. And, you know, they're in that fucking thing, caged in, they can't escape, you know, and they leave you thinking they're all dead. I was like, oh my God, they all died. And I was like, now it's war.
Yeah.
You know, because they all died. And then at the beginning of the next episode, you're like, oh, only she died. Some of them also died, but, you know, from the characters, only like her. And, you know, you're like, okay, now where is this going after this just happened?
Speaking of Mariko's death, I really thought she was going to kill herself. Like, I thought, at first I was like...
Well, she did sacrifice herself.
Well, you know, but you know that scene where she was going to commit seppuku and Blackthorn was going to second her.
Hanging.
I was like, okay, no. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I was getting anxious in the moment, and I was telling myself, Giovanni, it's a show, because I was getting so anxious. It's fake. She's not going to really die. And then when she puts the knife to her chest and she starts to push it in, I was like, okay.
And then the door opens.
It's going to happen.
And then Anjun is like this.
Yeah.
With his sword.
He was ready.
Ready.
To like make it quick.
And then they kill her 5 minutes later. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's playing with your heart, baby. That's what makes a good show.
I was like,
but yeah, I think her death there's more of her sacrificing herself in that way. I think was a better win.
Yeah,
for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole point when Toranaga was saying, like, are you ready? Like, that was her purpose. Like, you want to die, at least, like, let's go out where you can honor me, you can honor yourself, you can honor your family, you can help not have a war.
Right.
Yeah.
Essentially, because it's true, like what you're saying, Nikki, where his character, you can tell that he's the least violent of all these regents.
He gave me Ned Stark vibes.
Yes, he's a voice of reason.
Yeah, like calm and and always like I will handle it in a different way. I'll go around.
Let's find a different solution. Yeah, 1,000%. So I definitely agree, like how they ended it, but also I think there could be a second season because right before Yabushiga or whatever you pronounce his name, sorry, before he gets executed, he's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. You want to be Shogun." So it's like, how is Toranaga gonna get there? So that's where I kind of see, like, if they do a second season where John Blackthorne is going to be building him a naval fleet, so it's like he's going to be
has to build it.
Right. So it's like he's going to have the land, he's going to have the sea, he's going to own Japan, So I could see there being like a big battle in the second season.
Okay.
I think they should do one. That's what I would see. I think they could do
Don't worry, Giovanni. Tracy and I will watch the season 2 and we'll be like, there is a battle. You can definitely watch it.
Yeah,
watch episode 9, episode 8.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm definitely not looking forward to a second season. I think it was too much work for me to do to have no big climax.
You're so lazy.
I'm just like, you made me read all of these subtitles.
Yeah,
it's definitely
a lot about the story.
And then I'm like, what?
I get it. This show is not for everyone. You have to be into this sort of thing and have the focus and attention span. Because like you said, you can't look away for a second.
You can't.
No, you can't. You cannot. You cannot look away for a second.
Pause. Be right
This
back.
is not a be on my phone show at all. So it was good though. I mean, once I got into it, like I did enjoy it.
It was good for 7, 8, 9, and then that's it.
Well, sorry, Giovanni, you're a little bit slower understanding things.
Yeah, I was literally in bed watching the last episode, just like, all right, when is this gonna be over? Because obviously we're not getting a battle if there's only 5 minutes left of this episode. I was being such a bitter bitch. I was just like,
you've been like that for a few months now.
Yeah, I was just like, I need some action. Let's go.
Instant gratification.
Yes.
He is on that generation of instant. Like, he's not our generation anymore.
I'm getting old. I think I'm going to become those old.
No, I feel like you're regressing. Because, like, the younger generation is the one that wants, grumpy for life. Literally.
Hello.
The younger generation wants that instant gratification.
I see.
And you are there, Joe.
I mean,
like, are you? Is it?
Maybe,
I think it's Owen.
Maybe it's my boyfriend. Let's just blame it on Owen. I was just gonna say that it's Owen.
It's easier.
Owen is.
It's your fault, Owen.
It's Owen's fault. He needs instant gratification, and now I do too. I'm like, let's go. Where's the action?
Which I'm all about, like action.
Yeah.
Shows and things blowing up and people getting chopped to bits.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I love that.
But also the intelligence behind it. Like I did enjoy that too, where it's like, okay, maybe we didn't get that, but we understand why. Like there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's a very smart show. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
And they have to do a second season. I'm pretty sure they will, especially with the ratings the show got, such big ratings. And
got rave reviews.
Right. And then the way that it ended, I was just like, there's definitely a second season.
I'm telling you, you can't call a show Shōgun without getting your Shōgun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was my whole point. I was like, where's the Shōgun?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
it's
build
gonna
up,
be-
guys.
yeah.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to be Toranaga, but we got to see the journey and how he's going to get there.
I'm too lazy.
I know.
He
doesn't wanna put in the work.
I can know.
You don't want to sit on your couch
I just
or
don't-
lay in your bed.
Why we gotta go that far? Why? Christopher Columbus did it for us, so we didn't have to.
Oh, fuck Christopher Columbus.
So fucked up,
That's
Joe.
so fucked up. I don't want to go that far. Give it to me now.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
for
okay.
Veruca
And
Salt.
imagine like this show is gonna like if we get a season 2, it's gonna be like in 2 years.
For sure.
It's gonna take a long time.
I mean, look at the amount of work that goes into like the detail, the makeup,
just the visual,
design,
the visuals and the
visuals,
costumes.
the actors, probably also just coming up with the story.
That's what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah, 'cause
very
I don't know if
intricate.
there's like a second book. That's why I was like, I don't, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't do any research on that. I don't know if this is like a series or if it's like one book and it's just like a really big book and this was only like half of it, or
Yeah,
I'm not
no
familiar.
idea.
And I mean, there was a series that was made before
You told us
this,
that, yeah.
and I've never watched that, so I don't know how accurate any of this series, this current series, is to the book or the original series. But I mean, with that being said, I think it was still good. So even if you haven't read the book, or anything, like, it works.
I recommend this show, especially if you're into like shows about history and you know, and learning other cultures. I think I give it 2 thumbs up.
What do you give it, Tracy?
I would give it a thumb up. I give it 1. I know, because I'm kind of in the middle where I can appreciate the show and I think it's so smart and it was so well done. But for me personally, it if I didn't have to watch it, I probably wouldn't have watched it, or I would have given up on it.
I agree with Tracy. I didn't have to watch it. I would have given up on it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. I give it a maybe. I give it a maybe because it was like it has potential. I feel like maybe if I don't know, I
think it was good.
I think it was good. I just wanted a battle. That's it. So yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. Whatever. I'll stop being.
You don't have to.
I will say this though, changing the subject a little bit. The women in this show are so fucking beautiful.
That's what I was thinking. Like, especially the woman who plays Mariko. I had a little crush on her. I was like, she's gorgeous.
I could not stop looking at this woman.
I also feel like their aura.
Oh, because they're so calm.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if they're like that, but their characters' auras were just like...
But also strong.
Strong,
like, badass
but also
bitches.
calm. Yeah. I also think the stillness of all of them as actors was so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of like arms, you know, it was so like you stay in place and use your voice. And that's it.
My favorite thing about the show is Mariko. And unfortunately, she's dead now. So even if there is a second season, it's like she's not going to be in it. Like,
I know.
She was so captivating. Her acting, her storyline, the history there. She was fucking beautiful. And then that one scene where she stands up to Ishido, where she's like, I don't think you understand. She's like, and she's like, don't interrupt me.
I loved that.
I was just like,
You're like,
that,
let's go to war.
I was like,
let's go to...
I was like, it's going to happen. I thought, okay, in this moment, I'm going to get my Shōgun. And it didn't happen, but whatever. But, like, that scene was so fucking good. Like, I watched it twice.
Yeah.
And when she's trying to leave, too. And,
I was going to say that whole sequence in general.
She's fighting, yeah.
Okay, first of all, like when the arrows are getting like shot at her feet
Yes.
and she's like so still and she's still walking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'd be like, I'd be jumping all over the place.
She's
like,
a
what the fuck?
bad-
Knock it off. Who'd shoot those
Giovanni
arrows
would have
at me?
used me as a shield.
I know. We'd be
So.
like, Nikki. Yeah.
He said,
Sure.
"You take it."
Here, seppuku you.
See, that's when I thought that Toranaga, like an army, was gonna show up.
Like the Game of Thrones war. Oh my God.
Yeah, like when she was trying
Nikki
to
just-
leave, I was like, they're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But
She's
still,
badass
like that.
bitch.
It's bad. That's what I said literally when she like
Too scared.
gets her weapon and she like has it
And,
up. I
like,
was
they're-
like, badass bitch, let's go.
Oh,
And
the way
their
that the
little
way the way that
steps.
she walks, like she's flying, like just
Like
All
they're
of them,
glides.
all the
like they're
women.
floating. Yeah.
Also, just thinking about like the training that they obviously went through, not just the
actors.
fighting, but the women. You know, because of like the way that they pour the tea and they serve the food and how they eat and the way that they sit.
And you're gonna give it a maybe to this show? Are you kidding me?
I want my soul,
This
my
is-
Shogun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I really think that there's going to be a second season. I think we're going to get it.
With no Mariko.
So I know.
She wanted to die, man. Let her
I don't
go.
care. I don't care. It's not
She
her.
sacrificed
The
herself
show is
for good
us.
reason.
The show is for us, not for her.
Giovanni's like, it's
That's
not
so-
her choice.
It's not her choice. That selfish bitch. She was fine. She was like this. Finally, boom.
Yeah.
She said, thank God.
Yeah, she was like,
Bye, cool
take,
world.
please take me.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm
girls.
done with you bitches.
Right. Or with me, like you remember that scene in Twilight, Breaking Dawn Part 2, where they're battling the Cullens and the Volturi, and one of the old vampires, he's about to get ripped apart, and his last words are, "Finally." Like, and then they kill him. You don't remember that part?
I barely remember
No,
that.
and I was just like, yo, mood.
Yeah.
When you're just done, you're like, take me.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Well, yes, I recommend you watching it if you love history, if you want to learn about culture, if you love Japanese culture. It's a beautiful show.
And you have a good attention span.
And you have a good attention span.
Yeah, you
'cause
have to pay
I
attention.
think
I
that
don't.
has
You
to
know,
definitely
my
be
attention
part of
span
it.
is getting really, really bad. I talked to you.
That's
about
what
this,
I
Nikki.
told you, Joe.
It's
Like,
bad.
I'm like,
It's
dude,
bad.
like, just
It's
focus.
I can't. Oh my God, I'm just like,
It's bad.
Like meditate. or
Everything
some
that I've
shit.
told Joe lately, he's like, I mean, he didn't even fucking like the bear. The bear.
I know.
you like
I'm
some bear,
like-
Tracy, right?
Yes. I'm invested.
Like,
Just like,
and that show is fast. Like, there's no such thing as like, oh, this is quiet. I'm like, did I miss
the anxiety.
I
that
think that's
feel
the
watching
reason. I'm
that
just
show.
like, wait,
Yeah.
But that should go with your attention spam. I don't get it.
that's true. Listen,
so good. I'm so invested in them.
I actually rather more the bear. I like that show way better than Shōgun.
Well, me too. But it's like it has me. It's comparing oranges and apples. They're
Right.
so different.
They are so different. I should not compare them. They are
Yeah, like
very
so different.
so different.
Wow.
It was good,
And
though.
do you have any fun facts, Trace?
I do. Okay, first of all, so just like a quick thing. So when they were like eating at one point, and they're eating something called natto, and
What is
Anjin was like, "Oh yeah, let me have some," and he eats it. And he's like, "It smells a little bit. Ooh, it's like cheese."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck is he eating?" So I had to look it up. So
I
it's
didn't
actually-
because I was like, Tracy's gonna know.
So actually, it turns out that it's just fermented soybeans. Thank God, because I thought it was like octopus intestines or like something,
Yeah.
sorry, but like really nasty. No, it's just fermented soybeans, so not too bad, but that's what natto is.
There's since you brought up that part, Tracy, about 2 weeks ago, TikTok trends, that was like a trend on TikTok. Everybody was trying that. And I always said, ooh, and when I saw it on TikTok, I was like, ooh, I want to try that. I like trying weird shit. And when I saw it in the show, I was like, oh, that reminded me. I want to try natto. So I'll try it one day. I got to look for it.
You try it and you let me know.
I'll
if
let
it's
you
any
guys
good.
know. I'll see if I can try it.
Let us know,
Okay.
please.
So, Shōgun was actually filmed in Vancouver, Canada.
What?
Sets
No
were
words.
sets were constructed in the city of Port Moody, which is located in the heart of Metro Vancouver. The site hosted a sawmill for over 100 years, but high property taxes caused it to close in 2020. Enter the show's production team, who set up shop in the now abandoned property. The village, Castle Stone Wall, and Osaka Harbor were all constructed in Port Moody. To thank the city, the production crew donated a Japanese white pine that was used for filming, and it's planted at City Hall.
Aww.
I know,
That's
that's
cute.
sweet. So I feel like this goes without saying, but this is FX's most expensive production in network history.
Wow. You can tell.
So I didn't get an exact number, but just to kind of put things in perspective, I suppose. So the original was made in 1980. Now that was made for 22 million, which in today's money is 80 million.
Holy shit.
And so you figure they definitely spent more than that. And even during this past Super Bowl, they had a 30-second ad that they spent $7 million on.
Wow.
Right. So that alone. So it's like we're getting into high numbers.
I mean, you can tell,
Yeah. Oh, they
The
did. Yeah, you can
quality.
tell that. Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. Extras were paid more than usual. So in Japan, it's typical for a Japanese extra to work for free. But if they do get paid, it's usually around 5,000 yen, which is about $30 a day. Now, for Shōgun, they were requesting people who were a little more, educated in Japanese culture, especially of that time. So
Okay.
I guess because they wanted that authenticity, they did pay more. So it was about 50,000 yen, which was about $300 a day.
Oh, shit.
Right? So that's pretty good.
That's really
But
good.
that adds up
really
too, because
good.
they used a lot of extras. So I guess that also, you can account for that. But Japanese advisors were brought in to make the show as authentic as possible. So, for example, there were 3 masters of gesture. So that means that they taught the actors how to sit, eat, walk, even how to open the doors.
I was going to...
Etiquette.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish your thought.
Oh, okay. Etiquette, behavior, and speaking styles were taught as well to portray different social classes, as each distinguishes themselves in various unique ways.
I was going to ask about that because I noticed that at least half of the directors that worked on this, I'm assuming they weren't Japanese. They look white. So, now it makes
So
sense.
they had experts in certain areas come in to teach them. I mean, I think that was the most important thing for most of the crew on this was the authenticity of everything.
Right.
So they had specialists come in. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah.
So obviously CGI was used
Yeah.
in the
we
making
could
of the
tell.
show. But for reference, a typical effects-heavy show uses between 1,000 to 2,000 VFC shots. For Shōgun, they used 6,000.
Wow.
So that's just a fuck ton.
yeah,
I mean, like,
that's a lot.
so much, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about the costumes. So all of the costumes are handmade.
Get
So
the fuck out of
everything from the peasants and village people's clothing to the lords'
believe it.
colored suits to kimonos, everything. And the costume designer said that he tried to give the characters their own color scheme. So you'll see Mariko in a lot of whites and grays. What's his name?
Yabushige?
Yeah.
The shoe.
Sure. You saw he wore a lot of green, and then Toronaga had a lot of yellows.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's all I
Yeah,
have
now
for
that
you.
you say
that.
that. Oh,
Right,
love
I
that.
know. I read that and I was like, oh yeah, that's true.
That is true. And then in
That
like
was
the
so great.
region, the council, like they all each like had a different
Like
color
some
scheme.
red and
Yeah.
I feel like Ishido wore a lot of like blue.
Blue.
Yeah,
Right?
that makes sense.
So
Wow.
Wow.
It is a
Thank
beautiful
you
show.
for that, Tracy.
always
I loved
it's
it.
fun.
And it got amazing ratings. Let's see, Nikki, you
I put it there.
got us the ratings. So on Rotten Tomatoes, the score it got was 99%, which
And you give it a maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Giovanni knows better.
I do know better. You guys listen to
As
me, okay?
you know,
have a
as you
penis.
say, you have to give it its flowers.
I have given it its flowers though.
It is a good show.
I did say it was a good show. I don't know if I'll be watching season 2 though.
Well, now I feel invested. So
Talking to
have
you
to.
guys made me like it more. I will say.
Appreciate it more.
Yes, talking to you guys.
sometimes
made
you have
me
to break it
appreciate
down a little bit. Yeah.
Because
It's
I
also
was
like one
I
of
was
those
suffering
shows,
on
like-
my own. You know, I was watching it by myself. I was struggling, trying to put the puzzle pieces
Suffering.
together, and
He was suffering watching TV,
How
guys.
dramatic.
On
Holy
his couch.
shit.
I was suffering. Yeah, no, talking to you made me appreciate it more. Yeah. Hey, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 99 and the audience score was 90. So don't listen to me. I obviously don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You're
Also,
allowed to
I'm
have
sure
your opinions.
Giovanni couldn't hear half of the movie
I mean-
because they took.
Well,
really
the good
low.
news is it was in subtitles, so you had to
Good, sure.
read.
But the question is, can I read?
Can I read?
Well,
He
with
also
the-
tried
from
to
the very first
pay
episode when they
attention.
used the word thief, I was like, "Damn it, bitch! Pause. Google what is thief."
There were many words like
Yo,
that. I
I
was
was like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on.
It was like the natto when he was eating that, and then the seppuku. Like I looked that up just in case because I was
That I
like, I
knew.
think I know what it is, but like
Yeah.
let me
I
just make sure.
understood, but yeah, look it up also.
That I
Many
knew. I
things
knew what
that I was
seppuku
like,
was.
what?
Because I was always fascinated with how the samurai were ready to take their life, you know, in battle.
Quickly.
I could never, but yeah, I was familiar with that.
Yeah.
That's intense. No offense to the Japanese culture. Oh my god, I'm gonna get canceled.
Yeah, you will. It's okay.
Well, because
We'll
you
pick
said
up.
you were suffering through this,
was
so
suffering.
we're
Dude,
offended.
what the hell?
Yeah.
He's like,
I
it's
just-
not Sex
I
in
just-
the City, so.
I just wanted the Japanese to go to war. That's it. That's
They
it.
fought
You'll
plenty of
probably
wars.
get it eventually.
That's what I'm saying. Season 2, let's go. That's gonna take forever because I think they started filming this in like 2019.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
my god. That's so long.
Oh,
It's
'cause
like
they were gonna
I mean,
originally
also, guys, think about it. Every episode is like at least an hour long. It's like 10
yeah,
movies.
Yeah.
that's true.
It's like 10
That's
movies.
yeah.
Well, because they were originally going to shoot in Japan, but then COVID happened.
Yeah.
Also, think
that's
about
why they
that.
chose
Like,
Canada.
Shit, 1 hour long episodes. You're doing like 10 fucking movies.
That's true. I also like it's just like I feel like I have PTSD from Euphoria. Like it's been years. I forgot about the show.
Well,
Oh, I think they got canceled. They're canceling Euphoria.
they're probably gonna cancel it. Yeah, because they keep pushing it back, And
Such a good show. I wonder if it's money.
The writer's strike really
Angus.
delayed a lot. And
Angus.
I mean, I think he was gonna be a huge part of this next season. I
They
think
had to
so.
switch the whole story too,
Yeah.
probably.
Angus
And then
is
also
gone.
like
Barbie
Sydney
is
Sweeney has been super busy. I mean, Zendaya's always booked.
All
like,
of them. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Jacob
like if
Elordi.
you push back, then you have to see their schedule again. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that it's getting canceled.
It's gonna cancel.
Which
It's not gonna
sucks.
come
I
back.
hope it does not get canceled.
I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be weird for it to come back, 4 years later?
It wouldn't. They all look the same.
That's true.
Yeah. I just
That is
really
very
wanted to see Jacob Elordi. Like, you know, he was supposed to have another brother.
I wanted to see.
Or
Whatever. In the like photo.
It's not right. I'm not ready for it to be over. Like, there's so
I know,
many
I think-
open stories.
Right,
I
there
need
has-
them
Right.
to close them.
I feel like even if they didn't do a show, if they just did like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie,
Like a special.
like a special
No,
to just.
I want those episodes.
Like, I need to
Tracey,
know
don't.
what happens to Rue, you know? Like, I want to know that
Yes.
storyline, you know?
Yeah.
Is she going to remain an addict for the rest of her life? Probably. I think so. I think that's more realistic, you know, unfortunately. I mean, there are people who do recover, but yeah.
Yes.
That was a good show. That show really
It was
fucked
good
with me a lot. Mentally.
It's
That
really
was-
good.
That was heavy. HBO knows what they're doing.
I know. I mean, all of them. Like the show that we just talked about is like FX. Then like we talked about The Bear. Isn't that like Hulu? Like
Yeah,
all these platforms are like stepping up to the standard.
Yeah, Netflix,
They
come
are
on, get your shit together.
competing. Yeah.
Netflix needs to get their shit
does need to
together.
get it together.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Wait, Netflix
understand.
has like a couple of good shows. No,
Well, Baby Reindeer.
Baby
was really
Reindeer.
good.
They have
are
they
you
have a
kidding me?
they have one good show like every 3 or 4 months.
I will say though, I feel like the other platforms are stepping up their game. So
Yeah.
Netflix used to be at the top, and now
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of the other ones are like, we're coming. We're
Netflix
coming
got
for
too
you.
comfortable. Netflix got
Yeah.
too comfortable and started doing all these bullshit films and TV shows.
I mean, listen, Netflix was just a streaming platform before. They didn't have their own stuff.
That's true.
HBO has
Right, they were
always
like,
had their
"Here's
own
your
shit.
But
DVD
so was
of-
Hulu. Hulu was the same thing. Hulu was only
Yeah.
a streaming platform,
That's true.
you know?
But HBO has always had its own stuff. Like
That's what I'm
HBO
saying.
is separate.
HBO,
you
that's
know?
why they say it's not TV. It's
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah. Now HBO, can you guys sponsor us? Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Pay us for this ad.
Yeah. It was literally for free. We just gave you the best ad.
Right, come on. Like, and just put us on the show. Produce us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give us some money.
And then and those listening too. Sorry, I forgot about our listeners. I'm so selfish.
The whole reason we're doing this.
Oh, that's right, our listeners. That's right. I forgot you guys are here with us too. Thank
Sometimes
you.
I forget that other people will be listening to this.
Yeah, I know.
no,
Sometimes,
they
like,
are. They are
I say some
listening.
shit on here that I'm like, oh my god,
I know. Don't cancel us, please.
please, please.
Well, don't cancel us. Sponsor us. Subscribe, rate, comment. The reviews help a lot. The rating helps a lot. So please do it.
Please.
Whenever you get a chance. Give it a like on all the platforms. There's many. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. You
We're
can
all over.
see us everywhere. We're here for you whenever you want, except when I'm sleeping because I gotta sleep.
We need our sleep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
thank
for
you guys
joining
for
us.
listening.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks
joining us.
again. Appreciate
will-
it.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.